As you might have noticed, there has been a rise in a new genre that is called weird girl literature, and as I have been expanding my literary taste and I am now reading much more horror, literary fiction, contemporary fiction, I thought it is finally time to dip my toes into weird girl literature. In this video, I will be reading Bunny, which I feel like is an essential read to get into this genre, and I will also be kind of delving a little bit deeper into how this genre came about and why it is on the rise later on in the video. But for now, let's get started. I actually started this book yesterday and I'm on page 72, which is almost 1/3 of the way through. We're following Samantha, who is a scholarship student at university doing a creative writing course, but she doesn't really like anyone in her course. She kind of regards them as very unbearable, and they do kind of form a clique of very rich girls. She dubs this clique bunnies because they all call each other Bunny. For example, they would say,
"Oh my goodness, Bunny, you look so gorgeous today."
And the other person would reply,
"Thank you so much, Bunny. You yourself have a gorgeous dress on."
That's just how they talk to each other. They do kind of exclude her from things. They don't involve her in going out. They don't invite her anywhere. They always look down upon her. They don't really like any of the things that she writes and always find a way to put her writing down. But one day when she gets invited to one of their parties, she can't help but being drawn to their house and knocking on the door. And when she gets in, everyone is acting like they've never been mean to her. They give her a drink that they said they've named after her, and it's a very bitter and very strong alcoholic drink. This party that they've invited her to is called the Smut Salon, and we find out that they kind of engage in literary readings, poetry readings, reenacting some things, but kind of in a very erotic way. And she does find herself going along with whatever they're doing. She does find doing whatever they're doing and wanting to praise them and compliment them, and she doesn't think that they're stupid. But after a while, they say that it's time for Samantha to present something. And since Samantha didn't bring anything to present, they tell her to tell them something smutty. So they kind of urge her to relay a story from her own life, kind of relay her experience. And whatever happens next is just so strange. I feel like we have this sense of the main character kind of going crazy, getting so like into whatever they're doing, and the night ends in a mysterious ritual that we don't really know much about because Samantha doesn't really remember much of what happened after drinking so much the night before when she wakes up. But over the next few days, it does seem like she has entered this kind of hive mind of the bunnies. She does go between what she normally thinks to things she would think if she was a part of this clique. I do have to say the beginning was kind of slower, but I do enjoy that in a way because we did really get to know our main character pretty well and her state of mind, kind of how she thinks, what she does, and the environment she's in, which I think is going to be really useful for the rest of the book because if it's going to turn weird, obviously we're going to be confused. So I think it's really good that we have those basics. But after the party, her friend that she used to hang out with all the time, she's her only friend. She kind of moved in with her. They only hang out with each other every day. They text each other every day, kind of ghosts her. She doesn't really say anything to her, and Samantha also can't really find her. She goes to their apartment and she's not there, so she has to sleep in her own dorm, which is very raggedy because she's not that well off. She keeps looking for her friend. She's not at their usual meetup spots, she's not at lunches, and she finally decides after a week to go to this tango class that they attend together, and she does indeed find her there. But her friend starts acting really weird. She keeps looking at the moon, and she also acts like she didn't really disappear for a week without any messages and that nothing is wrong. But Samantha is really concerned in her own head that obviously her friend Ava is really mad at her that she went to this party and she left her for the evening and went to hang out with those other girls. So she's just trying to apologize to Ava, say, oh, I'm never gonna do that again, like I'm never gonna leave you, I didn't even enjoy the party. But Ava just says, I don't really care what you do. I'm not really mad at you, but I just don't care what you do or where you go. And Samantha runs away from her. I think this is where it's going to go downhill. But also, guys, I'm kind of feeling sapphic vibes right now. It's probably not. Samantha and Ava definitely have some sort of connection, and it would be pretty nice if it was sapphic, but I am making it sapphic in my own head. It's my own head canon, okay? If it doesn't turn out to be what I think it is. I think because Ava is kind of pushing her away and acting strange, she is going to turn to the bunnies and start hanging out with them more. I actually can't wait to see how this is going to turn out, because Samantha is still kind of not really in that bunny mindset. She's not entirely in love with those girls like they are with each other. They're not like besties yet. So I can't wait for that kind of transformation where she is ready to basically just like die for them and just enjoy everything they do together and whatever. I can't wait for that. What? Oh, what the hell? Okay, this is turning weird, okay. I was just having fun with the girlies and now we're doing something weird. Okay. Oh my god. Oh. This is getting good. I'm so... yeah. I found your tree-like height erotic.
Hello?
This book is hilarious. I enjoyed your bleak dress sense more than I can say. All day I wanted to tongue the little skull pin you wore on your boob.
Huh? Huh?
You intimidated me because you were so formidable, angry, scary, angry. You refused to turn that frown upside down. Who is this guy, bro? This is crazy. Wait, we're kind of coming back to normality. I'm kind of scared because what does that mean? I feel like that's just gonna bring something crazy about. I don't know if I'm ready for that. Bro, I just have to point out that the writing in this is so good, because what do you mean? She is cherry blossoms falling. She is serious moonlight. She is shivering green leaves. Oh. More of this, please. More of this. Also, every time I think I know where we're headed, we turn like 180 degrees. You're kidding? Oh. Huh? What? Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. What is even happening? What?
Hello?
Guys, like I just said, every time I know where this is headed, it takes a different direction. But this, I'm honestly gobsmacked. I'm honestly... After falling down the rabbit hole, Samantha is thrust into the surreal world of the bunnies, riding the currents of subtext, vulnerability, and power. This book evaluates the psyche with a bizarre lens, taking on a fever dream quality. And while it is written to be very confusing, I found it easy enough to follow. I love the way this book explores desire in a very subversive way. It is full of yearning when you want to see it. I think you have to be in the right mindset to actually understand all the hints that are being put down for you to pick up, and I loved looking for them. This felt like a weirder and grosser sister of The Secret History and Mean Girls. I really liked this combination of this clique of rich girls and academia. I thought it was done so well. Bunny does offer a unique critique of big institutions and especially the power struggles within them, but I do think we could have leaned in a bit more to the critique of academia and elites. I did find it a little bit surface level at some points, but I do think that it was still touched upon in a very interesting way. This is written in an incredibly detailed way, allowing you to experience the senses and emotions in great depth. That's why I'm giving this book 4.5 stars. I found myself not wanting to put this down. I was definitely riding the waves of this weirdness and uncanny world, and I loved every bit of it. For the people that don't know what weird girl literature or fiction is, weird girl literature follows female protagonists with a narrative that leads towards the unsettling, whether it's unconventional or odd characters, settings, behaviors, activities, or just the plot. The story is always tangled in itself, discussing topics such as trauma and desire. They're meant to be gross, uncomfortable, and unhinged, but also thought-provoking, reflecting societal issues. It's basically combining literary fiction with horror, sometimes leaning into the gore or the supernatural to mirror the complexity of being a woman. It's about refusing to fit a mold, choosing your own path, or struggling with mental health. This term started trending in around 2020, but only recently grown to much bigger proportions. So why now? It could be because of the increasingly oppressive world, which women can fight back with surreal stories using metaphors and allegories. Older examples of this type of fiction would include Wuthering Heights, The Yellow Wallpaper, Mrs. Dalloway, or We Used to Live in a Castle, which all challenge the expectations put on women with unconventional approaches. The weird girl fiction or literature is of course a spectrum which varies in degrees of weirdness, starting with books such as Normal People that are considered more traditional literary fiction, but it can also include very gory things and very, very bizarre, like The Earthlings or Chlorine. I myself have a couple of recommendations. Of course, you might have heard me talking about Our Wives Under the Sea, which it's one of my favorites, and it's also sapphic. I've also recently read Hunchback, which will definitely become one of my most recommended books. It's short but packs packs a punch. And I myself know I have quite a lot on my TBR, such as Anibot, which I'm really excited to get to soon. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope maybe you are now interested in reading Bunny. I definitely recommend it, but this will be all for this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!